let's talk about things right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's going back to work and getting back to business, and marketing agencies, especially nationwide companies, I feel like are really looking and making those calls. A
Yes.
lot of cold calls. I'm sure everybody listening probably gets at least one a day. Maybe Google My Business.
We
Don't
even get them
listen to
here.
those. We do all the time. So I think I want to talk about really what they're saying because it's easy to fall into these, you hear these large numbers and it's easy to fall into it like, wow. But when you understand the numbers and the data behind it and how that stuff happens, really finding a return on your ad spend is harder
Mhm.
than a lot of these companies make it out to be. But there's just a lot of options, and I don't want people to be fooled. It happens all the time. People get stuck in these contracts, and I hate as a business being stuck in contracts. So I don't we don't do that.
Right.
So just kind of going over what some of those things are without pointing any fingers.
That's right. And this is kind of a continuation of sorts from 2 weeks ago when we talked about those buzzwords
Right.
that agencies try to throw out. And we mentioned it last or 2 weeks ago. The buzzwords aren't necessarily a bad thing, but you have to know the context of what they're being used. And then, as Whitney says, the picture that they're trying to paint with these numbers and things that they're throwing out at you.
Yeah, I think one of the first red flags is if an agency comes to you with a pre-packaged proposal or agreement of services before you've ever met them. Like, this is what we offer, this is our package, and this is what you need to do. That's putting your business plan, making your business plan fit into a marketing package.
Right.
And I don't understand how in the world a marketing agency, without ever talking to you, the business owner, can come in and tell you this is what's going to work for your audience to achieve your goals. How do they know what your goals are?
Right.
How do they know what your audience is or anything about your business? There's no way for an agency to come in and say, this is what you need to do. And it just so happens to fit in everything that we do for everybody else.
And sadly, I think that has become kind of the accepted norm because when I talk to potential clients, they always want to know in that first call, how much is your plan?
What's your
And it's like
package?
we don't have a one size fits all package for anyone.
No.
Everybody has something different, like we mentioned, the podcast or the different social channels or whatever it may be that we're doing. So I think sadly businesses have come to expect this and have accepted that as kind of the norm of a marketing agency when it comes to putting something together for them.
Right. And I said this last time, but you as a business owner know your business better than anyone else. Nobody is going to be able to market you better or achieve your goals better than you. But, marketing tools and having that strategy and those specialized skills, that's what we have. So we can deliver your message to the right people. But we've got to know what that message is and who those people are.
Hmm.
And then we're going to figure out how to get to them.
Right.
But, if somebody calls us or we talk to someone, and a lot of times they do, they're like, what's your package? Send me your packages. We can't do that.
Yeah.
So typically we will tell you, we can't do that. Let's meet. And we meet because one, we want to make sure that the business is the right fit for us.
Right.
We have to deal with you every day. You have to deal with us. We want to know that we like each other.
Right. Exactly.
So then we will do the research. So we want to look at your competitors, what you do, what you've done in the past, and really how much you want to spend.
Hmm.
And we can find things to reach your audience within your budget. But we have to know that budget. If you just say, well, what do I need to spend? I can tell you to spend a lot of money. I
Right.
can spend a lot of money in a day and you will get results, but we need to be realistic.
Hmm.
And to do that, we need to know your budget. We need to know who you are and we need to talk to you.
Yeah. Because you don't want to throw all of your eggs into one basket and then either run out of cash or not get the results that you're looking for. Whereas when you have that customized or personalized plan of action that we would be able to put together for you, it just makes it more efficient for you and more economical for you. It just makes more sense to work on that plan and not just make your business or your brand fit into the marketing company's proposal or plan.
Then it's just throwing things up against the wall
Hmm.
and hoping that it sticks. We don't do that.
Yeah.
I hate doing that. And even more, I hate doing reports at the end of the month and you don't see a return on your investment. And, that's another thing that people kind of throw out there is return on investment or return on ad spend. It's kind of easy to get if you put $50 into social to get some return there.
Hmm.
So we need to realistically look at what is going to work for your business. Not all returns are created equal.
Hmm. Elaborate a little bit on that, like what, because I think people just kind of assume they're spending this, they're getting this back in clicks or likes or even spins, but it's not all the same.
It's not. I mean, it depends on your target audience.
Hmm.
One, some people are harder to reach than others. I mean, 18 to 24-year-olds cost a lot of money to, not a lot of money, but in social
Hmm.
aspect, social advertising is pretty dirt cheap. But depending on who you're trying to target, you have to think of all the other ads that people are getting targeted with, especially on social media.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of competition. Yes, you may get in the news feed, but how much do you have to pay to get into that news feed and really get people's attention? But there's so many different ways that you can get their attention: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, stories. Stories have been really big. Messenger makes really great targeted campaigns, but we don't know those until we talk to you who works within your business, knows your goals and knows your client base and your services. We have to find that out before we can give you anything, and we're not going to give you anything until we've done our research, because I don't want to work with somebody and not give them results. And I mean, nobody on our team does,
Right.
so we just don't.
And it's so important to know that, customizing it or knowing that it's not a one size fits all for all businesses, because we work with a lot of different industries and we've seen different results with different tactics or different social media platforms or channels or whatever the case may be. So it's really important to not fall for the hype, not fall for the numbers, because you see, you get an email or you see an ad pops up or whatever the case may be, and there's a bunch of numbers and we did this but none of it is in context. So really, we would recommend doing your homework on that, especially if it's kind of a blind cold call kind of situation where they're promising you results or saying they're going to get you more Google more Google, bumping you up on Google or whatever the case may be. Because really, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, once you stop paying or you shift those
You're
funds into
gone.
another direction, you're off that list.
And really, I think that's a question that you have to ask. You need to look at all agreements and you need to see what content is being created and do I own this content?
Yes.
A lot of times we went into accounts and they don't own their Facebook page, they don't own any of their social channels, they really don't own their website. So once they stop paying, they lose everything.
Yeah.
So make sure that you own your content and that content is being created. It's one thing to run ads consistently, but the moment that you stop those ads, you may be getting lots of results, but if something happens with your budget or you want to, you know, move your budget around into hiring new employees or buying new toys for your business,
Hmm.
then you have to pull back on advertising. That is the way that businesses work. And when you do that, that when you don't have content, that's when it's going to really hurt you because you don't have any source of organic traffic. You don't have reason, you don't have anything for people to look at when
Right.
those ads are gone. And, buyers are getting smarter. So they want to know, they understand that ads are easy to run. You
Hmm.
know, You run the ad, but what does that really tell about a business? Not much. So
Yeah.
now buyers will look at your Facebook page. And if you've just been running ads and you don't post or you don't take care of your audience or take care of your pages, you're just running ads, you're going to lose a lot of those customers that you just paid for
Right.
because you brought them over through an ad. So always be building content.
Yeah, and that was going to be the next thing that I was going to bring up too is having that organic reach as well. Because number one, like you said, it shows that you are not just trying to put out ads and you know always having something to sell, but you're also showing some personality. You're showing kind of a peek behind the curtains of what your business does, and it also then works in tandem with those paid campaigns when you're kind of keeping everything in the same topic area or whatever the case may be, and it's not just like we've said countless times here, throwing stuff against the wall and hoping something sticks. It's really kind of proving yourself to that audience, but you know, it just I personally, as a consumer, like to see when a business isn't just hawking their services to me, but also showing me a little bit of that personality that they may have.
Yeah, I mean, we all want to be nurtured, and that's really what social media does. But then also your website and every other platform. So, what you don't want to do is have to pay to bring people in all the time.
Hmm.
You know, if I pay to serve you an ad and you buy my product, I want you to then follow and like my page, and then I'm going to give you other content because I want to build that relationship. It should be treated, your social media campaign and really any digital ad campaign should be treated just as you would for your customer service department. You want to reach people and build brand awareness. You obviously want to sell your product and service, but you want to build relationships because that keeps people coming back.
Right.
But then also word of mouth is still number one
Yeah.
in referral base.
Yeah.
So you want to bring people in, make them want to follow you, be your friend, give them something to talk about, and you don't want to have to pay to do that every single time. So that's what your organic content does.
Do you think with organic right now in 2020, not just with COVID, but we're obviously also facing a ginormous election coming up in
Mhm.
November, and there's going to be a lot more campaign ads and whatnot on TV, but also across digital and social media. So that organic stuff also helps you kind of stand out in that crowd as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that you want to have a reason to follow people. You want to know where, right now, especially, where your money is going and who you're doing business with,
Hmm.
with the other events that are going on and legislation. You want to know that, people share your values. So just having that relationship and nurturing your audience and making sure that you stay top of mind, but then also that you're relating to them
Yeah.
every single day so that they're always there.
Yeah.
It's all about the relationship. And there are a lot of ways that you can build that, but treating it just as you would with training your customer service team, it needs to be the same thing on social media.
Yeah, and always keep this in mind. It is about you and your business and your brand. It is not about the marketer or the agency. A good agency is not there. They're there, but they're not there. If you know what I mean. It's
Right.
not you don't know that someone else is the man behind the curtain, so to speak, or the person behind the curtain. It's seamless, and it's not this you know because we've seen starts and stops with other businesses that we've worked with, and you can always kind of go back and tell who was driving the bus at the time,
Yeah.
and you want to have that where you don't lose your identity in the process when you do make a change, or if you are going into it brand new and hiring an agency for the first time. We can work behind the scenes. We work behind the scenes every single time, and not putting ourselves kind of into that mix or into that forefront either.
And that's really why we do one of the first things that we do with clients is create that branding guide that identifies their tone of voice and really their values and redefines their mission statement, because we need to fit within their business, and those meetings help that.
Yes.
Your business, you should never be paying to market somebody else's business.
Right.
And a lot of times with agencies, unfortunately, they kind of turn that around, and
Hmm.
that should never happen.
Right.
So,
100% agree.
and so I did get an email the other day. It was from a client. They said, "Hey, I got this emailed to me, and it was a marketing package proposal from a nationwide agency. And it was, we've increased viewership by 83%, and it led to 2,500 clicks and, 23% more conversions." I'm like, that's it. That's all that was there. And this client was like, do we need to be doing something? I feel like our numbers are right there, but what is this? And I'm
Hmm.
like, that's a great question.
Right.
What is it?
Yeah.
There are a lot of different kinds of conversions. So if somebody says, well, we've increased conversions by 20 something percent or 50 something percent, oh, well, is that buys? Is that lead forms? What is that, just visitors? We define what a conversion is.
Right.
Most of the time, the agency defines what the conversion is. So I can define whatever suits me and whatever makes me look better.
Right.
So as a business, that's where your goals really come to mind. You need to say, okay, it is a completed purchase that is a conversion, or it is a form download, it is getting their email address, whatever it is, their phone number. We need to define those, and define those with your agency or whoever you are working with, so that apples to apples what you are doing
Hmm.
and what you are paying for, and if your advertising is working.
Right. No smoke and mirrors here, no sleight of hand. So if you want an honest review, analysis, a customized plan, Idea Creative Marketing is obviously the best place to go because, again, we have the custom software that we can look at those numbers, not only what you're doing, what your competitors are doing, what they've done in the past, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and then we come up with that game plan to make your business thrive and continue to grow.
And if you just want to see where you stack up, you can email us. We would be happy to look. We love to
Yes,
look at the data, but again, it's going to be honest. So if you don't want your feelings hurt, then probably don't do it.
that's right.
But we're going to find those gaps in your marketing campaigns, and then we fix them.
Hmm.
And we provide solutions and tell you exactly how to fix them. So if you have questions, let us know.
That's right. And a lot of people are, uncertain about the future just because of the situation that we're in right now. So we can help maybe hopefully put your mind at ease and like what you said, give you an honest look at the numbers, at your rankings, at your competitors, and really paint a picture that, we can turn that bus around or what's the I don't
Turn the
I don't
bus
know what the
around.
what the metaphor I'm looking for is, but
We're a transit company now.
yes, we are going to be driving throughout Southern Illinois. But seriously, if you do need those kinds of answers, give us a call 529-0969 or check out ideacreativemarketing.com.